Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. Now, maybe I'll talk. Never mind. The title of today's talk is the Samadhi of Narcissus. We all know who Narcissus is. If you were literate in literature or Greek mythology or Freud, and or even just pop culture. Trump is a narcissist. What is a narcissist? Well, it's a pathology, said Freud. Freud did us a great disservice when he took this Greek myth of Narcissus and used it as a metaphor for narcissism or self-inflated ego. So we think of the narcissist, the myth, if you don't know it, is there was a young god named Narcissus, the Greek gods, everybody was a demigod or a god, and he fell down one day and there was a very clear pool, and he looked and he saw the image of himself, and he was infatuated with it. It was like waking up in the morning and looking in your bathroom mirror and seeing yourself for the first time. Like Jake Sully on Avatar, when he woke up in Pandora in his new body, he knew himself for the first time. So this idea of Narcissus is misinterpreted or misused by Freud to make it a pathology. See, it is much clear. You got to look deeper into the water, into the clarity of the pond. So Narcissus saw himself as if for the first time, like he was born again. And he dove into, he was so in love that he dived into the Word. He dived into the image and became one with it and died, drowned. Well, now the literal interpretation is that he physically drowned, right? But the mythological or metaphorical interpretation is that death was Samadhi. Now, that death was Samadhi. He died in Samadhi. Poems and people, Facebook is full of Samadhis. I belong to a doggone it. Even Dementia Bay, I forgot my thing. All right. Okay. I don't know. When I go to my Facebook now, I don't have humans. I just have wisdom quotes. All these Buddha groups and all of them, so they all quote these wisdom quotes, and everybody says, "I needed that," or "Amen," or "I agree with that." And Krishnamurti and Sagadatta and Marcus Aurelius, even the Greeks, it's all these quotes, wisdom quotes. And they're all pointing to Samadhi. Nobody knows what it is. What is Samadhi? Just generally. The basic understanding of it is it means beyond duality. Beyond duality. Duality is this. What is beyond duality? What's beyond the yin and the yang? What's beyond good and bad, up and down, me and you, duality, I and it. Well, let's stop at Avatar. I have a page called Avatar on the Voyage Beyond Pandora on the forget it anyway. I have a Avatar. I can't think of the name of it. I have a page that I've been writing on since I first saw the first Avatar. It's still giving me insights. It's still sparking ideas. Why? Because it is a living myth. And I would say Avatar is about Samadhi. Is about Samadhi. Because Jake Sully, our hero, goes on a journey. He hears a call. It's science fiction, but all science fiction is a metaphor for Earth right now, for you. It's a metaphor by using science fiction to get to the fission, does Samadhi. Samadhi is home alone. Samadhi is I'm one with that. It's called at-one-ment. At-one-ment. At-one-ment means not two. At-one-ment. So Narcissus is a metaphor or a little story, a little drama with pictures. You got the guy looking in the pond. A little drama that is a metaphor for Samadhi, being at one with myself and the world. Because if myself is separate from the world, then that's two. But what is one? When I am the world and the world is me. You know, Krishnamurti said that. Or the observer is the observed. Or I am that. All these phrases and little slogans and banners are all about Samadhi, beyond duality. And Buddha said, life is suffering, and that suffering is duality. That suffering is duality. And what is duality but our very consciousness? Our very consciousness is duality. I and it. Martin Buber defined it, the I-it consciousness. And that was the sky people in Avatar. Everything was an it. The humans in Avatar were looking for Samadhi in the wrong place. And Jake Sully and the Navi were in Samadhi. Pandora, for the Navi, they were what? They were Pandora, and Pandora was them. They lived in Pandora, but they weren't separate from it because they were one with it. Even when they killed an animal, it was a sacred act. They were at one with their environment, their world. And this is a Samadhi, beyond duality. But at the same time, there's duality. It's not like you get rid of duality. It's the fact that you're beyond duality and in duality at the same time. Now that is Zen. Zen is not leaving the world and going to heaven or going into Samadhi and staying in some blissful state on the mountain where the world is like gone and you're just Om. No. Samadhi, and this is the difference where Buddha, according to my sources and my own experience, Buddha tried Samadhi and went beyond it. Now, but Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, the young prince who went out into the town and had a trauma, an existential crisis when he realized we're all going to get sick, old, and die. What the fuck? I want to get out of that. We're all going to get old, sick, and die. What's the meaning of anything? I might as well get it over with. Shoot myself now. So he went on a journey to find release or the cessation of suffering or old age, sickness, and death. But that's literal. Old age, sickness, and death is a metaphor for duality. The suffering of being separate, or as Adam and Eve found in exile from the garden. The Garden of Eden is Samadhi. And they were kicked out of Samadhi to wander in the world. This is metaphorical thinking again. Wander in the world in exile, looking for their lost paradise. Trump got elected because he promised a lost paradise and restore America where we'd all be one again. Anyway, please don't go there. So we're just trying to get down to the basic here. This idea of samadhi is beyond duality, but at the same time, it's in duality. At the same time, it is beyond, and so this is the awakening of Buddha. He tried the samadhi. When he went into the forest, he studied with all the sages of his age, the yogis of his age, and 500, when Buddha was born, the yoga was already 1,000 years old. And the yoga of India was what's the end of suffering? How do I get out of the world? How do I get out of this suffering of the world? The cycle of birth and death. Groundhog Day. How do I get out of this fucking Groundhog Day where everything is just dying and reborn and dying and reborn? Where is peace? Where is the one that is beyond the two, death and dying, you see? So Buddha tried them all, and he became an expert. And the yogis, the gurus, all say, please, please, stay here. You're my disciple. You've mastered this technique. You've mastered samadhi. You've mastered it. Teach it. Stay with me. When I die, you'll get all my students. You'll be famous. And Buddha said, there's something missing here. There's something missing. Because all of the spiritual teaching of yoga was to leave the world, go into the forest, become a monastery, become a recluse, and practice ascetic, different, extreme disciplines. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't eat meat. Just say your prayers all day and read the Bible all day, and you go to church and think about God, you see. Leave the world. Don't chase women and cars and men, and don't get all into the duality of the world. Leave the world goodbye and go live in a monastery or live in your bedroom. Don't stay in the world. Leave it. It's bad. The flesh is bad, 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 said the early Christians. Leave the world. It's bad. There's the suffering of the world. Cut it away. Drop it. Be clean as a bone. Get rid of the meat, you see. Get rid of the flesh. What a God. All this morality, all the Bible, all these early teachings were all about the leaving the world. Even in our speech, if somebody dies, oh, they've gone to a better place. Like this place is hell. Oh, when you get that new house, you'll be at one with then. That'll be like samadhi. And for a moment it is. Oh, come look at our new house. And then pretty soon it's your old house. And it's got leaks. So the samadhi of materialism is very, very temporary. Samadhi is beyond dualism. And it's got many, many aspects to it. Many, many levels. The basic level is like jogging. People jog because sometimes they get a jogger's high. The movie Chariots on Fire was about the jogger's high, where you were jogging or running and you become euphoric. And you become at one with the running and the road. And the running is doing you. Or in Zen and the art of motorcycle riding, there's a mechanic who fixes the engine. And then there was the joy of riding the motorcycle. We ride the motorcycle because we become one with the motorcycle and the road and the trees and the sky. And we can get into a samadhi high. Or basketball. They're in the zone. What's the zone? Samadhi. They're in the zone. Michael Jordan's in the zone today. He can't do anything wrong. He throws the ball from the other end of the court and it goes in. Samadhi. He's at one with the ball, one with the court, one with the game. At one moment. But it's temporary. The game's over. But for a moment, we love sports because of the samadhi of it. Soccer, samadhi, one after another. You got the tension, the two, the teams, my team, your team, there's tension, oh, and then goal, goal, and the whole stadium goes goal, and the players hug each other, goal, Samadhi, and then you're back again, tension, 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 Samadhi, tension, 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 Samadhi, and then finally there's the final Samadhi, goal, we won, but then there's another game next week. So samadhis are temporary, and that's why Buddha left it. Samadhis didn't last. He said that's not the end of suffering. It's temporary, it's relief from suffering, which is the samadhi that our consumer materialistic world offers. When you get that new house or car, you get a temporary samadhi. Oh my God, my new car! In that moment, samadhi, and there's a glow, and it lasts a little while until the new smell wears off. Romance, samadhi, oh my God, I'm in love with that woman, I am that woman, I am that man is me, the woman is me, samadhi, romance. And then it gets to have warts. Oh, he left these socks out again, they stink. So everywhere in the material world, samadhi is temporary, and that's what Buddha discovered. This is not the cessation of suffering. How can I be in the world and not suffer? That's what Buddha wanted to know, and that is awakening. That's why I ended up, I'm 87, I've been on this path, I've been looking for samadhi, I've been looking for the cessation of suffering my whole life. I don't know when it began. I can point to some moments, but for some reason I've heard this call my whole life. What is the end of not the world suffering? Because then I've become a preacher. Maybe I am, but I mean, I'm going to save the world. No. What is the cessation of my suffering? And that you have to keep fine-tuning it. I mean, I'm going to look into that pond, like Narcissus, you see, and it's going to be a glass-bottom boat. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop with an image. I'm going to go into the image. I'm going to go into the image. Beyond duality, because the image is I'm here and there's the image of me. Look in the mirror. That's two. You are the looker, and the mirror is what you're looking at, the object. There's the observer, and there's the object, and that's two. When the observer is the observed, that's one. But you cannot know it because there's nobody there to know it. And that's why in samadhi, when we have a samadhi experience, we only really know it until after it's over, because when we're in it, we're in it. We are unity. We are beyond the duality of the knower and the known, or beyond consciousness. And we're into awareness. Awareness. Now let's just, all right, so I'll try to end this rant here with Bodhidharma. Now I talk about Bodhidharma, and people talk about Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma was a sage, a monk, who came, we don't know if it was Afghanistan or India, but he was old and he came to China, which already had Buddhism, but it was a Samadhi Buddhism. It was like a monastic Buddhism. It was kind of like Catholicism. It became ritual. And so he came to China and brought awakening. The awakening which is called Zen. Awakening. Zen is the Buddhism of awakening, not Samadhi. Not getting out of the world, but awakening in the world. Big difference, you see. This was the shift between Hinayana and Mahayana. And it occurred historically around the time of Christ. But, of course, Buddhism went to China, and so it wasn't until Bodhidharma came to China in around 500 AD that he brought Zen, or awakening, instead of Samadhi, which is temporary. And so Bodhidharma, what little we have of Bodhidharma, but anyway, that was the arrival or the awakening of Zen. It's called Chinese Zen, which then went to Japan. So you have Zen from Japan, and you have Zen in Korea, and then Zen moves to America, so you have American Zen, Japanese Zen, Korean Zen. But the Chinese Zen that goes back to its roots in Bodhidharma and the patriarchs is where I went. Thanks to Albert Lowe, my Zen teacher, I discovered the Montreal Zen Center. He's dead now, but that doesn't make any difference. Anyway, so the Zen of awakening was simple. Very succinctly, Zen is very succinct. Zen is like cotton balls. You know, the cotton ball is a nice little fluffy cloud, but you have to pull it apart to get the meaning, to get the seed in it. You see, so you got to pull these Zen cones apart. So Bodhidharma came to see Emperor Wu, who was a big supporter of Buddhism in China. The monasteries, and he was a big deal. And so when the sage came to see him, the emperor asked Bodhidharma, "What is your teaching?" Then Bodhidharma said, "Vast space or vast mind, where not a thing is holy." Well then, who are you, Emperor Wu asked Bodhidharma, and Bodhidharma says, "I don't know," and walked off. And right there is the whole essence of Zen. The whole essence. He's describing awakening. He's describing awakening, not samadhi. Anyway, I'll stop here. Thanks for dropping in. Have a samadhi.